Tony Trabbit, get over here and stop eating those chips. And what is Tony Trabbit reading? I believe, here we go, over to Jason now.
Everyone's just sitting there looking like dickheads, including Rich. Aaron's there sitting there looking at a computer screen. Anthony's there munching on food. Barney's just sitting there looking at everyone. Harrow's sitting there reading a fucked out magazine. And Dennis is sitting there looking and eating as well. Back to you.
And yes, I have just got exciting news from trade unions that dinner covers have now gained 20% in profits. This is an amazing figure as now everyone is rushing to buy their dinner covers to invest in future markets of bed sales. And yes, American NASA have just covered up their biggest fuck up. No, it actually isn't their biggest fuck up in history. It's one of their most recent fuck up in history, and they are planning to launch a probe to Pluto. And hopefully they won't fuck that up again like they fucked up Hubble and that probe to Mars. And talking about fuck ups, Don Watts has just somehow got into a very awkward position which involved his foot somehow coming through both nostrils at once. Don't ask me how this is done, but I shall take a photo and it shall be published in our monthly edition magazine of Tony Trabbit's monthly magazine edition number 16. And yes, and David SHORTBUSH is happily working away in the computer and collecting information from who is accompanied by Tony Gregg, who is receiving information direct via satellite from Europe on the local soccer results as they happen. And now back to this game of Street Fighter 2. I actually haven't been watching this screen for about half an hour as I've been talking absolute shit. and Sega is actually kicking ass in this game. Sega is kicking ass, and Don Watts is not happy at all as he has just lost his wife. They have just organised a divorce for the 21st of July, and he's very depressed about it. And he's just giving me the worst greasy I've ever seen it in my life. I think I saw his hand move to his knife pocket. I think I should better leave. Probably. Yes, I believe it's time for Marcus Winston to say at least one word. He's having lunch. It is 9:30 at night and he is having lunch. And he's currently consuming several kittens as he's drunk, thinking they are cabbage beans. And yes, one is crunching away in his mouth as we speak. And he's switching that all down with a nice glass of Hungarian-grown wine from the local vineyards, which he happens to own. Oh yes, I forgot, yes. Marcus Winston happens to be of a vampire descent and he's actually drinking blood. This is collected from the local abattoirs as he's a bit of a pacifist and never hurts no one. And yes, I was listening to last week's commentary and I believe that was fairly fucked up as Corey Kasser trying to do as many actions as possible sounded the same. And I just got another finger in my face which indicates hostility towards me. And I don't really give a fuck. Oh yes, and we had dollar pizza at the local Ritter's shop. I happened to buy one of those pizzas from the Ritter's shop and they had a vast array of insects growing in them. I believe they had these insects imported from the rainforests of Brazil as they had a spider as big as my hand. Now that was fucking big if you know the size of my fingers. And yes, Guile versus Guile. I have put my money on Guile to win. And yes, Guile has won, so And yes. I'm just looking around, and it's nice to see that Don Watt's children have engaged in the Christmas festivities, and there are many pictures, Christmas photos around, and apparently pictures which they did at primary school posted around the wall. And yes, I'm looking at one at the moment, and it appears that Santa Claus actually has 3 arms, which is a very unusual thing to happen, but I believe all that work up in the North Pole in a restricted gene pool. As and yes, I believe that we shall. And yes, we're just been talking about local attractions in Dalston, known as Pervert's Point, which happens to occupy an area in Hepburn Springs. And yes, I'm getting fairly sick of this, and I bet you are too, listening to my boys drone on and on about absolute shiz. And yes, Don Waters just echoed that point, but Tony Trabbit is reluctant to take over at this point. So I shall bring up the fact that it's just unbelievable that 10,000 public servants have just been dropped from the state government, and I believe it's a bit of a disgrace. And here's Tony Trabbit.
In fact, it is not a disgrace. For our current economic climate, we were way too overstocked in the public servant department, and I feel that their acting is really a good sign that we're going to become a more lean, mean state in the future. And I agree totally with Jeffrey.
Well, yes, I believe you have a point there. Yes, we are slimming the flab off this very overweight state. And Marcus Winston, the vampire, still has not said much of a word. I believe he'll be active when the sun sets, which, looking outside, appears to have set now, despite the fact that we have reflection off the glass from the inside fluoro lights. And apparently the fluoro lights are very dangerous for your eyes. If left on for more than 3 hours a day, it'll cause you to have massive convulsions of eyes, which rapidly diverge and cause fluttering images and eventually insanity on all round parts. Experiments in Bulgaria have proved that on people have proved that this over a period of time will cause slow and agonising death. And actually experiments over in America involving the injection of plutonium into people's bodies has also resulted in the so agonising death. But as usual, no one really gives a fuck because we all love America.
America, America, America. Woo, woo, woo. That's my word as Tony Trabbit, supporter of Americans and American ways.
I'm glad you do, Tony, but I reckon they suck. Like, this capitalist system really sucks. Like, this is a thing, 5% of the world population own 95% of the world, and I think it's slowly disgusting. I believe in a communist society myself where every man is equal in every way, financially.
Well, that is in fact the theory of communism, but it rarely works in a traditional sense. This is a more intellectual corner of the show, and well, I think we should get back to the sport as well. Yeah, no, I think we could turn it off.
And yes,